Good evening. Welcome to Justice Investigations. I am Scott, your host, Al Scott. As always, thank you all for tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. Indeed, we do have a lot to talk about tonight. Our main topic is about a young lady who has been on death row since 2008. She was given the death penalty for allegedly killing her 2-year-old daughter. She has an execution date set for April the 17th, and it is imperative that we speak on this as often as we can because in just a matter of days, she could lose her life. But before we get into that, let me say this. Is that Miss Riley? A good evening to you. Love you big time. Love you big time. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we get started, I just want to say this, so just keep this in your mind. Most prosecutors in this country care more about convictions than justice. I'm gonna say it again. Most prosecutors in this country care more about convictions than justice. It is not enough to say, I'm tough on crime. Anyone can be tough on crime. But can you be tough on crime and also be fair with the situation? Prosecutors in this country work extremely hard to convict people. I believe that prosecutors in this country must work just as hard to make sure that they are convicting the guilty. And if by chance a mistake has been made, something has been overlooked, and there is an ounce, just an ounce of doubt that this person is innocent, that case must be looked at again. That case must be looked at again by a different DA. It's just as simple as that. When an individual is executed, later only to be found out they were innocent, it doesn't mean anything. This is not a do-over. You can't. What's done is done. It's just as simple as that. But if someone comes to you and said, we believe this person might be innocent, you need to check it out. But sad but true, a lot of people just don't like to admit when they're wrong. April the 4th, a black man, an unarmed black man has an encounter with Michigan police, Grand Rapids. Allegedly, the officer was pulled the gentleman over because the tags that was on the vehicle did not match the vehicle. You all have seen the video. I've seen it. I think they sent out some more videos today with, I think, 6 different angles. And incidentally, for whatever reason, the police officer's body cam went off for 3 seconds. They gave a reason for that, which was a bunch of bull. So I don't care what angle I look at. There's nothing new to see that will make me change my mind and say 26-year-old Patrick was executed in broad daylight by a Grand Rapids police officer. It is a very, very disturbing video to watch. You can easily get upset watching the video. Here's what really pisses me off when this happens, and it happens often, is that you can show me the video of the white officer executing an unarmed black man. You can show me the video of that white officer. You can give me the name of the person that was executed in broad daylight by a white officer. You can give me the history of that black man that was executed by that white officer in just a matter of minutes. You got it on the screen. My problem is this. Why can't you give me the officer's name just like that? We're not going to release his name unless he's going to be charged. No, it don't work like that. Whether he's charged or not, what's his name? I swear to God, if I get his name and his picture, I'll put it out tonight. I will put it out tonight. You want to take this opportunity to save the white officer and dig up some background on the deceased to shoot him again. As if a criminal past justifies a white officer shooting an unarmed black male in broad daylight. The officer is at the center of an investigation. But we protect that officer and his family. Really? Laws must change. I swear to God. If I get it, it's going out. And it don't just have to be this case. Anytime they won't release it and I got it, it's coming out. I'll put the address and every damn thing out there. It's only fair. It's only fair. I watched the video. So here's what happened. A traffic stop. First of all, once again, like Dante Wright, leads to a murder. Another traffic stop of a black man leads to murder. He tells the gentleman why he was pulled over. The gentleman looks somewhat confused, as if he didn't quite understand what he was saying, or maybe he had warrants out and he was, trying to figure out how to get out of this here by taking off running. I'm not saying none of that, so I'm just throwing something out there. But he did look a bit confused, as if he didn't quite understand some of the things the officer was saying to him. So we know he takes off running. Don't get very far. We know that the officer fired not one, he fired twice. His taser, he fired twice. And he can only deploy twice. After that, you're on your own. The first hit, missed it. The second hit, missed it. So now there's this tussling that's going on between the white cop and Patrick. The white cop is straddled on top of Patrick. No matter how much Patrick is trying to resist, the officer is on his back. I'm going somewhere with this. Well, Mr. Scott, don't forget that. I want you to leave it out now. Be fair that he reached for the officer's taste. Okay, I won't forget that. Thank you for letting me know. He did. That's a natural reflex. Just like if you and I get into a fight, my instinct is to fight your ass back. Whether you black, white, male, female, cop, or just regular citizen, I'm gonna do it. That's natural. That's natural. My problem is this. You're on top of it. You reach for your gun and you pull it out and you put it to his head. Boom! I'm gonna go out on a limb. Heaven is backing me up on this. There is no way on planet Earth, if you obey the law, if you uphold what you took an oath to uphold, that you can come back and say it was a justifiable homicide. Bullshit. It was a homicide, but it wasn't nothing justified about it. You took the gun out, you put it to, boom! That's a homicide. That's what it is. That's no justifiable. That's a homicide. He was on top of it. He still had the better hand to control the situation. The officer, and I agree with the attorney, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, the officer escalated the situation. He did. He did. He did. If you're on top of me, I might still be resisting, but bro, you got the best of me. You got the best of me right now. I'm wiggling, but I ain't going nowhere. How come we don't wrestle and tussle until I get you into handcuffs? Or until my backup comes? I don't have to do that because I'm white. I don't have to do that because I'm a white police officer. I'm the law. I don't have to do that. I don't have to put you in my patrol car and take you to jail because I'm white. I'm a police officer. Here's what I'm saying. When I get your black ass, I'm going to arrest you. I'm going to put you on trial. I'm going to find you guilty, and I'm going to release my punishment on you all in less than 5 minutes. Negro dead. Miss Hudson, good evening to you. Love you big time. Thank you for tuning in. You're late. We'll talk later. We keep losing at this game. It's a game. It's a game because it's almost as if a proclamation has went out to kill unarmed black people by any means necessary. And it's being done well. It's being done well. It's never the white. It's never the white. It's never the white mother. It's a black mother, a black father. Here's what Attorney Benjamin Crump said. Grand Rapids police officer failed repeatedly to de-escalate the situation and instead escalated it before shooting and killing him. During a Thursday afternoon press conference at Grand Rapids Church, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump called for the officer to be fired and to be charged for the murder of Patrick. Do you ever notice something when this happens to us? Anybody can answer. Do you ever notice the format is always the same? It's always the same. What are you saying? I'm saying this. I have to call a high profile attorney to get some act right. I have to shed tears. I have to get people together, and we have to take to the streets once again to yell, no justice, no peace. That should not be the case when the evidence is in front of your face. But you stall us long enough to satisfy us and pacify us till you think of a lie. It never fails. We got to demand that an officer be dealt with in the way he should be dealt with. He should be in prison right now. But instead, this white officer is at his house, probably with his white or pink wife, living his best life because he's on administrative leave, but you must put the word paid in front of that. I dare you collect a damn check, and I'm trying to bury my son who you killed. You said you're not on the clock, but you still get a check. God forbid. God forbid. You cannot tell me it's not personal. This don't happen in white neighborhoods. We shouldn't have to picket. We shouldn't have to protest. This is 2022, and we still up under the same bullshit we was up under in 1962. Jim Crow did not leave the building. I don't care how much he resisted. Putting a gun to his head and pulling the trigger was unnecessary. Excessive use of force, that's an understatement. I'm going to shoot him in the head because I know he's going to die. You got your gun out. Get off of it. Point it at it. Don't move. Don't move. Don't fucking move. Don't do it. To get that act right out of it. But no, that's not the way you want it. You want to kill him. And you did that. The whole world saw that. People only continue to do to you what you allow them to continue to do. A traffic stop again ends another black man's life. I read some of the comments from some of these racist, low down, insignificant, trifling, racist white folks. He said, well, maybe next time he'll obey the law. Maybe next time he'll yield to the commands. So, voice in me says, Miss Scott, don't say it. Act like you don't see that post. Stroll on by. But it pisses me off because of who's saying it and at what time they're saying it. And number three, a black person can say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, comply to all the verbal commands, and they still will knock his ass or her ass off the map. You've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again. I like what Too Short said. He said, cops shoot us down on camera. Don't even get convicted. They some dirty bitches. And that's what they are. It is a clique. It's a clique. It's a cult. It's a brotherhood thing. I'm going to back you 100%. Every time a white officer gets put on trial for killing a black person, if that officer is convicted, to God be the glory. But here's what's about to happen. At least 5 or 6 more blacks got to make up for the one cop we just lost. And you don't have to be doing a damn thing. No police officer, not one, should ever be placed on paid administrative leave. If they win their case, give them their backpack. So while they're enjoying life, Patrick's family is planning for a funeral. Patrick's mother and father keeps wondering, why? 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 You killed him. He shouldn't resist, Mr. Scott. Well, maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing about resisting. Just because a person is resisting, that is not an opportunity for you to use deadly force. And since he don't know how to operate a taser, and he don't know anything about the distance that he needs to be to hit somebody with the taser, I suggest you get him off the damn force right now. 2 shots and he missed him. But isn't it funny? The bullet in that gun didn't miss him. Benjamin Crump says he must be charged. Criminal charges are warranted. And yes, they are. And I promise a civil lawsuit for excessive use of deadly force. That's from attorney Benjamin Crump. There was a struggle that included Patrick grabbing the officer's taser. The officer, what I just said, who was on top of Patrick, that's the 2 stroke, ultimately shot him once in the head, killing him. In this video, you see a confused person in Patrick who never takes a violent act against a police officer. Yet the police officer escalate and continue to escalate the situation from a traffic stop. Benjamin Crump is the same attorney that represented the family of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And speaking of Breonna Taylor, I think it's very appalling and outright diabolical when no officer was ever charged with her death. Because some people got it mixed up. They think they decided not to charge him or found him not guilty of it. Nobody was ever charged for killing her. Nobody. The officer that was charged for the bullets he mistakenly shot at another woman's door. That's what, isn't that something? Isn't it? I will prosecute you for shooting that door before I prosecute you for killing that nigga. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. The officer on the video, you've seen it, is shown kicking Patrick, who never fought back, but instead was trying to run. I saw that video there. He didn't. He was trying to resist. He was trying to run. Because you run from the police, that's reason for a shoot and kill. Because you're trying to get away from the police, and the police is on top of you, and he puts one shot to the head. That's the reason, because you were on top and he wouldn't. Maybe you won't understand it until it happens to your son. Because heaven backing me up, it's going to happen again. It'll land in any city, in any state, at any given time. I thought that the video of Ahmaud Arbery was disgusting and hard to look at. But this one overshadows that one. Because I'm watching this white cop put this gun to this black man's head and just pull the damn trigger. Every time a white officer is not prosecuted for killing an unarmed black person, that door is then left open for other white officers to do the same thing to any person of color. They get cocky when they get off. They get cocky. I said this once and I'm going to say it again, and I mean it from my heart. Cops won't stop killing blacks until blacks start knocking their ass off. Didn't I stop that shit? Did he just say that? You goddamn right I said it. They will not stop until blacks start knocking their ass off. It has happened before, and it can happen again. Ask Texas about it. Ask New York. But they were just sitting in the car. I don't give a damn. Amir Lockett was laying in his apartment on the sofa with the cover over his head. He didn't get an opportunity to see who shot and killed him. He wasn't bothering nobody. So your police officers ain't no damn better than them. It doesn't matter how a black person approached this situation with an officer. Anytime a white person pulls over someone black, remember one thing. If you don't remember nothing else from this life, remember this. When that white cop pulls you over, remember you black. Remember you black. We send our condolences to the family. Until we get tired. It's kind of like the soul. Let's do this. I don't care how much you go through in life, how many stumbling blocks, how many hills you have to get over. When the soul gets tired, then the soul must rest. When the soul gets tired, the soul must rest. We're still being beat down, kicked down, held down, let down, and called every name with the name on our birth certificate. And when we black people speak out against racism and bigotry, we are labeled racist. Position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. If you see it that way, it is. I would never defend what I say because it don't need the truth has its own foundation to stand on. A lie don't. A lie don't. We're missing something, people, and it's called unity. We got to become proactive to stop this before it seriously gets out of hand. But we can't do that as Black people. I'll tell you why. Because I don't know who's worse. The white man with a badge and a gun, or the Black man with a gun. Who believes in his mind that Black lives don't matter. If Black lives matter, you will stop killing your own. If Black lives matter, you stop selling that dope in your fucking neighborhood to your Black people. It ain't just about guns. You love your brothers and your sisters. You lie. You're a hypocrite. And an ounce of truth in you. So if we tell it, then we must tell it all. I ain't making them come get it. Bullshit. If you got it, you making them come because they want it. And then you have the audacity to march with somebody with a shirt on that said Black life. It should be ripped off your ass. It's always been us against them, but we never thought it would be us against us. I'm going to read a comment. Laura Mosley, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You're telling the truth about this, Mr. Scott. My condolences to the family. Another black man that got stopped. A traffic violation should never result into a homicide. It should. It should. All hands must be on deck. But you can't get some of us to come together because I haven't felt it. It hasn't landed at my doorstep yet. And I'm reminded, we're going to get to our topic for tonight. I'm reminded of something Mike F. said. I think it was during the George Floyd trial. Not referring to George Floyd, but he was talking about us in general. He said, we as Black people must stop putting ourselves in certain predicaments that will cause us to have an encounter with the police. And I agree with that. But also, I know one damn thing. You don't have to do nothing wrong. They just in that mood. If we don't look out for us, who will? If we don't love us, who will? Just as well, watch as the NAACP and all these other Black activists get everything together. By this weekend, they will march from here to Kingdom Come because a white man shot a Black man. But these same sapsuckers don't say a mumbling word about Black on Black crime. You don't say that shit. You know why? Because you don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. How in the hell you gonna say it's wrong for a white man to kill somebody Black, whether he's armed or unarmed, but you don't say a damn thing about what's going on in your neighborhood? Let's get on. For every 8 people executed in the United States since the 1970s, 1 person has been wrongfully convicted and later exonerated. Only 17 women have been executed in the United States since 1976. When former President Donald Duck was in office, 13 federal executions were carried out. Tonight, I want to speak with you about a young lady named Melissa Louise. She currently sits on death row. And she has been there since she was arrested. She was arrested and charged with the murder of her 2-year-old daughter. Now, an execution date has been set for April the 17th. So, which means we're running out of time. There was no physical evidence that said she killed her daughter. None whatsoever. A 911 call came in about a little girl named Mariah that was unresponsive. The mother would later be questioned, I think about so many hours, just straight. And she kept saying, I didn't kill my child. I didn't kill my child. I didn't. I did not kill my child. Melissa, more than 100 times, hit me good. Melissa said more than 100 times, I did not fatally beat my 2-year-old daughter. But after hours and hours of being questioned, here's what Melissa said. I guess I did it. When she said, I guess I did it, the prosecutors, they took that into the courtroom, passed it off as a confession. What they didn't tell the courtroom, why Melissa says that. Melissa only said that because the detective asked her, in the past, have you ever spanked your children? That's what they said. It was a confession. It was not a confession. Mariah died 2 days after the accident, after accidentally falling down a set of stairs inside the family's home. There was 14 steps. Her mother, Melissa, has been on death row for more than 14 years. And she still continues to say, I did not kill my child. She is the mother of 14 kids. She has 14. She's had some hard times in life. As a child, she was repeatedly sexually abused and became a child bride at the age of 16 with the hopes of escaping her abusive environment. Unfortunately, her life did not get easy. At the time of her daughter's accident, Melissa had 12 children between the ages of 2 and 15 and was pregnant with twins. She would ultimately give birth to them in prison and had to give them up for adoption. She struggled to provide for her family. She was a caring mother who did her best to take care of her children. something had to put her inside of a courtroom. Well, the state of Texas presented no physical evidence establishing that Melissa ever abused Mariah or any of her children. In fact, thousands of pages of Child Protection Services records show that Melissa's 12 children never said she was violent with them. Yet in 2008, she was convicted based on statements she made to law enforcement in Cameron County after more than 5 hours of being interrogated. The interrogation began the same night her youngest child died and continued until 3 a.m. the next day. She was tired. She was ready to go. She kept thinking about her child. Investigators, have you ever hurt any of your kids? Guess I did it. The leading cause of wrong convictions in this country is false confessions. The leading cause. If executed, she will be the first Hispanic to be Latino to be executed in the United States. Women, more than men, are wrongfully convicted of killing a child every day. Ms. Riley says, I feel bad for the mom. You know, I do too. I do. I played a couple of her videos today, and they were very sad. You know, if you have over 80, a bipartisan of over 80 senators saying, halt the execution for at least 3 months. Something is not right. If you have some of the people that found her guilty and convicted her in the courtroom now saying, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. I found her guilty. The jury gave her the punishment. And now men say, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. And do you think over 80 lawmakers would be putting their reputation on the line for somebody that they know is guilty? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. I listened to a son. I watched him when he couldn't hold back the tears. Said he didn't want his mama to die. Said she was a good mother and that they miss her. There's a documentary out on, we shared it on our Injustice Investigation Facebook page. We're going to come back again with this as well. So here's what the DA did. Lacking solid physical evidence, Cameron County District Attorney Amato presented her statement to the jury as a confession to homicide and sought the death penalty. A win he thought would help him, watch this, would help him get re-elected. Hold it. Today, this former district attorney is serving a 13-year federal prison sentence for bribery and extortion. Isn't it funny? Those that said they have to uphold the law, break the law, and would look you dead in your face and tell you, they're guilty, they're guilty. And they just committed a crime themselves. Isn't that funny? Isn't that just funny? Melissa, over 100 hours, she sat there sleeping at home while they interrogated her. They would not let the defense bring in evidence that would have proven the child actually fell down the steps. And a few days prior to that, she fell, and there were some bruises from that. They wouldn't allow the defense to bring in the expert to counter what the medical examiner said was the cause of death, which was listed as homicide. They wouldn't let that come in. Anything that could give the jury reasonable doubt, don't bring it in. Don't bring it in. Our justice system is not broken. Our justice system is designed exactly the way it is. People of color are damned. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're right when you're wrong when you're right. Now, what if Melissa was you? What if? When you want somebody to come to your aid, I don't care who. When you want somebody to come. We're down to some days before the scheduled execution will take place. I'm going to ask you that you would go and you would make calls. You would call the governor and say, do the right thing. Allegedly, this DA here says if the judge don't stop it, he might get in there and stop it. There's overwhelming evidence that Melissa has been sitting on death row for nothing. For nothing. For nothing. Sign the petition to stop the execution. If she is executed, it matters to them if they later come back and say she was innocent. That's not a do-over. That's not a do-over. If over 80 lawmakers say something's not right, it's not right. And look, I'm not talking about Republicans or Democrats. I'm talking about bipartisan. And that don't happen. That don't happen. It don't. It's funny. We'll grab hold to someone who really loves their children and don't abuse their children and send them to prison. But when you have mom stranger danger and dad stranger danger, TPS go out, do a little investigation, let them stay, take them and send them back, and they die at the hands of the ones who should have been protecting them from stranger danger, but didn't know the parents or the step-parents were stranger danger. So you have to ask yourself, why y'all didn't let that information go? Why? Why did the coroner medical examiner rule her death or homicide when it wasn't? It wasn't. You can't make me admit to something that I know I didn't do. Well, it don't always work out like that. Hours and hours and hours of being interrogated. And you're always in a room where you can't be comfortable. You got about 2 chairs. It was designed that way. But they're breaking you down hour by hour. Eventually, yeah. I may have did this here. That don't have a damn thing to do with Mariah being dead. Nothing. Nothing. People spank their children. And I don't have any children, ever grown children, but when they were little, if they messed up and I deemed it necessary, I would spank that ass. You don't tell me about you can't tap the child. You don't run this here. You don't run this here. Whatever punishment I feel is necessary for mine, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. It's not many black folks that deal with time out. Time out. I ain't got time for that bullshit. Knock him on his ass. You're gonna get it together. This woman has been falsely accused and convicted. She is scheduled to be executed on April the 17th. I signed the petition. If you haven't signed, I ask you tonight to make a pledge in the comment section that you will sign. You will sign. And don't just make that pledge. After you put it in the comment section, go sign that petition. Go sign that petition. Can you imagine how many innocent people in the United States have been put to death? Some only to find out later they were innocent. If we have a corrupt system, and we do, I'm not speaking for y'all, I'm speaking for me. I can never be in favor of the death penalty because you got people doing life in prison that are innocent. So I can never be okay with the death penalty with the system we have today. No, they get it wrong too much. Again, just as hard as a DA works to convict, they should work just as harder to make sure they are convicting the guilty. This case has lies written all over it. Now, an innocent woman could be put to death for a crime she didn't do. She lived a rough life, but even with the kids being taken for a little while, it was never about physical abuse. He was just running from here to there. Running from here to there. I know she knows there are many people out here fighting for her. And I think the list is growing. We can't let her be executed with the current system in place today. The current system in place today don't like people of color. Jim Crow in 2022 is still alive. I want to keep you all updated on this story. Be to Lord willing, tomorrow night we'll come back and discuss some more of the case about Melissa. Please make that pledge that I will sign that petition. We got to get out of here. And also make this pledge. You see that thing that keeps strolling back there? Don't act like you don't see it. Where it says donate to the show, PayPal, Cash App. What's the problem? What's the problem? You're not donating. We can't do it for free. We can't do it for free. We just can't. When truth matters, This is where you need to be. We don't give out sugar-coated shit cookies. Y'all make it happen. I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. Remember, I'm not always right, and you're not always wrong. We'll see you tomorrow night.